Today, we talk and review the Solheim Cup. We are going to talk about some more Ryder Cup stuff that came out. Obviously, Bryson made some interesting comments this week. And then finally, we're going to get into a little bit of the insider's knowledge on what's going on in the world of golf and how it may or may not affect you. We start this right now. Hello and welcome back to Beerly Out of Bounds, the Beerly Golf Podcast. I'm Zachary Smith, one of your hosts, and joined me as always is the illustrious, often exculpated, never ramificated Zane Smith. How are we doing tonight?
You're using words I don't even know if you know the definition of. I certainly don't.
You know what? I've been doing this thing for like the last couple weeks, and I'm still testing the waters with it. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Keep testing them.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
What are you drinking tonight, Zane? Before we get into
tonight we're just drinking one of my wife's favorite beers is Shiner Bock. So we're drinking that.
Not terrible.
No, that's pretty good stuff. It kind of reminds me of kind of like a Yingling. It's pretty good. What about you, Zach? What are you serving up for yourself?
Well, in honor of our parents being in the British Isles, I've got the Lucky P hat on.
The Lucky P hat.
Shout out to Ireland. That's something, by the way, we need to start doing more of. Shout outs to Ireland. So shout out to Ireland, and then shout out to Scotland. We're rocking with a Glenfiddich 15-year Scotch.
They're not even close to Ireland right now, though. They're in Scotland.
That's a lot closer than we are to Ireland.
That's a fact.
So I'm gonna be.
I guess everything's relative.
Yeah.
You're closer to Ireland than me.
Technically, yeah, a lot closer.
Drink some more. So drink some more.
So, cheers! Got a little Scotch here. I'm gonna be sipping on this during the episode. So Zane, starting it off. Solheim Cup. Zane,
yes.
Obviously, this is a big topic of conversation. That we're just correct on everything, and you should never doubt us.
You should never doubt us.
Go Beerly
we're
OB.
correct on every, even moral questions. We are the place to go for that. You know.
Yeah, even though we disagree on moral questions sometimes, we're always correct.
We're still right. You know? We're still correct. So.
And even if we're wrong, we're not wrong. We're just not right yet.
Yeah, we're just almost right.
Yeah.
We're just right, kind of.
Exactly.
But still not wrong.
Exactly. So, Europe retains the cup, finishes 14-14. Some, not me necessarily, but some might call this a choke job by Team USA. Started off the week on Friday.
Might?
4-0, and they end up splitting the cup.
No, Zach. Might? You don't call this a choke job?
I said some might. I would never put those words on these talented young women.
I will.
But
because
some might call it a choke job.
We live in a quality moment, Zach, and we need to if this were guys, you'd be saying it's a choke job. So, you know, F that. I'm a feminist. This is a choke job. You know what I mean? This is 100% a choke job by Team USA. They had me fooled. They had me fooled.
After day one, I was like, golly, they're going to smoke them, and I'm going to look like an absolute fool.
Yeah, and then day two came around, and they looked like crap. 5 down, 2 down. Like, they didn't have there was a point where they didn't have a single match that was up. You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh God, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Not great.
And it looked real good at the start, man. They were all on firing all cylinders.
I tell you what, though, what made me get a bad feeling about how I was going to finish was watching Lexi Thompson. Even day one, they ended up with the win.
Oh, it was horrible.
Lexi Thompson's short game might be
the worst.
The worst I've seen on a professional tour.
It might be the worst. It's just awful. she's trying. It's almost like she's trying to help. You saw. I mean, you saw that X
Yeah.
post. You sent it to me.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you see as coaches. Is like they're trying to help the ball into the air. It's like just hit down into it. It's the same thing Victor Hovland's working with his coach on. It's the same thing. We'll talk about that a little later because I just saw some. I sent you a video of Victor Hovland working on his spin, like really cool
Yeah,
spin
I
shots.
don't. First off, if you're having trouble at all pitching the ball, do not try and do what Victor Hovland is doing in that video.
No, no, no. I'm just saying his
Yeah.
short game's much better.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
not only that, but it's much better because he's doing the same kind of thing there that he is on his normal chip shots.
Yeah.
Which he's striking down on it. He's having a much more negative attack angle on
Yeah.
it, and that's allowing him to hit better golf shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the women definitely choked. I think that there's no arguing your way around that.
So I will say this though. I think that we were spot on last week when we said that Europe had more depth.
Oh, 100% they had more depth. Because whenever they had to rotate, you saw that.
Yeah.
Whenever the other people had to come in, you saw that. So 100% they have more depth. 100% they're able to, I mean, that was just, I'm amazed the Europeans didn't perform better. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that was the shocker, is that we were able to tie them.
Yeah.
Just saying. So anyway, it just did not look good for Team USA.
No.
Ever since Thursday, like after Thursday, didn't look good. Sorry, after the first day, it didn't look good, and then it just got worse.
Yeah. Not pretty.
So no.
Lexi Thompson, if you're in the market for a new coach, specifically on chipping, totally game.
Totally game.
You don't even have to pay me.
Are you
gotta,
totally game, Zach?
Yeah, you just got to take Instagram videos with me coaching you, and then that'll be good enough. You don't even have to pay me.
So So the big kerfuffle. There's a word for you, Zach, for your new little thing, whatever you're doing, is people
the mastodon.
all around. Huh?
The mastodon. Yeah.
The mastodon.
Yeah.
Is that what does that mean?
It doesn't matter. Continue.
Okay. The big elephant in the room.
Yeah, the mastodon in
the mansion.
Yeah, the mastodon in the mansion. That's a good one. I'm gonna start saying that.
The mastodon in the mansion.
The mastodon in the mansion is
that in a lot of America, you can see that it's only one side of Twitter doing this. Is they're saying that we shouldn't have ties in Ryder Cup or President's Cup or any of these other cup things.
Okay.
What is your opinion on that, Zach?
We don't have ties.
I agree. Go on.
We don't have ties. Okay. So, yes, points were split 14-14. However, going into this event, Team USA knows they need 14 and a half. So if they don't get 14 and a half, they lost.
Yep.
It's not a tie.
Yep.
Zane, it's different from like people complaining like, oh, NFL games shouldn't end in a tie. You need to find some way to break that. I agree with that sentiment. But when you have a game, so for instance, let's say me and you play a game of golf. Actually, let's make this really easy. Okay? Me and you play a game of golf, and let's say through 8 rounds we're playing skins, I'm down like $8. Okay? In order for me to win money on the next round, I need to win $9 off of you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I don't win $9 off you, if I just win $8, I come out dead even. So you don't have to pay me.
Yeah, your analogy is bad. But what I would say, I don't think so. What I would say is it's retention for a reason. They have the cup. You have to take the cup. It's the same thing how in war, like if you have a fort and you're the defending party, you already have the fort. And if I want to take the fort from you, that's a harder task than me having to hold the fort.
You know what, Zane? You're exactly right. My analogy was worse than this. Yeah, if people in a fort fight with armed ground troops to a stalemate, the people in the fort win.
100%, because they have shelter, they have food storage, they have all of that. the people outside they're
Don't
gonna have to
have
go
any of
back
that
home.
stuff.
And that's the whole point of retention
Yeah.
is, that we played it. You didn't get to what you needed to do, which is storming the gate, and you go back home. And the mere fact that we have these, I call them sore losers, all in the golf media in America, saying how, oh, we should get rid of ties. It's like, dude, shut up. Like this
And
has
these are
been
all, by the way, these are probably all the same people that are like, it's about tradition. The PGA Tour.
yes, no, 100%.
And it's like it's the Ryder Cup, the biggest international event in the
Yes.
history of the game, and they're going, or the Solheim Cup, the biggest international event in the history of the women's game.
This is a correct statement.
It's ties are stupid, blah blah blah. Get rid of ties, even though it's been a part of this whole thing since the very beginning.
Yeah, ties should go away because we love. It's like guys, shut up.
If y'all wanted to play one more round, Europe could have beaten y'all worse. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You guys have been losing since after day one.
Yep. Yep. Oh, it's been. I mean, it was just. It was one of those things where you read Twitter after they retain it, and you just like you think
it's a big face bomb.
This is how we end humanity. This is how society ends. Because
this is how democracy dies with thunderous applause.
Yeah, little Star Wars reference.
Yeah,
but no, seriously, in a more less serious note, but in all honesty, I mean, this goes to show the absolute immaturity of a lot of people in our media. I can't remember what the guy's name was. Oh shoot, wish I could remember. He's on here somewhere. I bet it wasn't Brandel or Eamon. It was this other guy, golf writer that I follow. You might be able to help me, Zach.
You follow a lot of golf writers.
It wasn't Dan Rappaport, though he did say something about we needed to stop ties, and it's just like Kyle Porter. That's the guy.
Kyle Porter. I know who that is. Yeah.
Oh, the worst take of all takes. Where is it? Said something about ties.
It's not a tie.
It's not a tie.
They have the cup. We have to take it from them. It's not a tie. We have a different objective from them at the beginning of the thing. They're supposed to get 14 points. If they get 14 points, they win. We have to get 14 and a half because we lost the last one.
Yes. Yep.
That's what makes it more exciting. I tell you what, honestly, that's what makes it more exciting for the team that is losing. It's like you don't only have to tie them. You have to beat them.
Yeah.
If you tie them, you accomplish nothing.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Makes it way more exciting, and it is not a tie. Like that's what if the tie goes to the person that holds the cup, then it's not a tie. It's
in
like
baseball,
having an
tie goes to the runner.
Yeah. It's not a tie if you play it like that. If from the very beginning you're saying like you said before, this was actually your best quote was if you play from the beginning and you have to get a certain point total.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's not a tie. You didn't get the point total. You go home a loser.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the U.S. went home losers.
Yep.
But like he said, ban ties. Let each captain pick a player from the other team to play a 9-hole match for the cup. That's what you do anyway. I mean, you don't pick another player from the other team, but you're already picking a player to play in that singles match. You already did the picking thing.
Yeah.
You already played the game.
Yeah.
And you lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just, I mean, that.
I mean, it is exactly what you said. It's Americans being sore losers that they don't have both the Ryder and the Solheim Cup, and that they're getting ready to lose the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
That Europe will have both the Ryder Cup and Solheim Cup, in hand. Anyone's play you want to highlight, out of the Solheim Cup?
All I know is Lexi Thompson needs to. I mean, that's what I would highlight. I know it's not a great player, like a person playing great, but I would just highlight Lexi Thompson needs to figure out how to use a freaking wedge. It was awful.
It was
It
bad.
wasn't just that shot. It like several. I'm looking at several of them
Yeah,
right
there
now.
was more than one.
Oh my god.
But that shot was inarguably the worst.
Yes. No, no, no. The other one was worse. She was up against like the top of the bunker.
That's what I was
Not,
talking
not,
about.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the
That
worst.
was the worst. She hit it 90 degrees right.
Yes. That was by far the worst shot I think I've
And
seen.
by the
I
way,
think I've seen from a professional, honestly. I've seen bad shots, but that
um,
was bad. That was up there.
it's up there. I don't know if
Top
it's the
10.
worst.
Top 10.
I've seen some bad ones.
I've seen some bad ones too. Top 10.
um,
She was trying to hit a shot. It wasn't like she did it inadvertently.
yeah. Um, oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Top 10.
I did see one of the European girls on Saturday make a massive putt for eagle. Which
Did you
was
see the
pretty cool.
driving the green?
Yeah,
Par 4 driving the green by
Yeah.
Hall?
yeah,
Holy cow. I
Yeah.
want to highlight her. Holy cow.
yeah.
It was a bomb. And then she looks back at the crowd after she knocks it down and she goes like that. It's
Yeah.
freaking awesome. Sorry, I wasn't rooting for Europe, guys. I wasn't rooting for Europe. They were
No.
just playing freaking good golf.
Listen,
so.
we don't. When we pick against Team USA, it's not because we don't want Team USA to win.
Oh, we
It's
want to be
because we
wrong.
want to be correct.
Yeah, we want to be wrong. Like we want to be wrong. We just can't lie to you guys
Yeah,
and
I
be
can't
like,
say, Team USA's got this in the bag when I legitimately don't believe that they're going to win. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's the number one brand in honesty here
yeah,
at Beerly.
yeah. So, you gonna wake up at 1 a.m. to watch?
No. I already have to wake up early for work. I'm not waking up more early at 1 a.m. to watch the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. Well, the second wave will be going off whenever you're going to work.
There you go. I'll watch the second wave maybe. It'll probably be on when I'm in the pro shop. So,
Probably.
but
anyway,
oh,
so
I remembered what I was going to say about
that
Lexi.
puts the cap on it. That puts the cap on about ties, right? Like we're all in agreement. It's not a tie.
It's not a tie.
I mean, it is, but it's a retention. Like you have to win.
Yeah.
If you're the team without
Which
the cup, you
I
gotta
actually
win the
like
cup.
that. I really like that format for like team events, especially.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that format. Anyway, what I was going to say is with Lexi Thompson, in terms of, let's settle down, bring some coaching aspect in it. What can someone learn from watching Lexi Thompson try and play the shot that she tried to play from the position she was in? Zane, when you're coaching someone who is taking a chipping lesson, what's the number one thing you want them to do?
So the number one thing, I actually did a little thing with the ladies today. We did a 9 and wine, and at the 9 and wine, what we do is they have us do like 15 to 20 minutes, just a little instructional demo.
Yeah.
Just to try and outreach, try and get them involved in more instruction. And so what I did today is I worked on chipping. The big thing for me, right, is number one is going to be making sure that they understand what they're trying to do with the shot. So they're not trying to hit the ball into the air. I mean, you are,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not actually physically trying to lift the ball into the air. What you're trying to do is you're trying to hit down on it. You're trying to get the shaft lean forward so you can hit the face.
I'm thinking even more basic than that. In terms of objectives, what's your number one objective when you're hitting a chip shot or pitch, anything?
I mean, number one has to be not shifting your weight. Where are you going with this?
The number one objective when you're hitting a chip shot, okay? It's not to put it close to the hole. It's not to knock it in. Your number one objective is put it on the green. Give yourself a chance.
Nah, I disagree.
No, give yourself a chance.
No, not with a chip. You're thinking pitch shot. Like a chip shot, you're trying to get it relatively close to the hole.
Well, obviously, but number one, you got to be on the green.
Yeah, okay, you got to be putting. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about technique. With technique, you got to make sure that you're hitting down into the ball. What most amateurs will do, and this goes for duffs and thin shots and skulls, is they'll try to help the ball into the air.
Yes, 100%.
So they go, and chunk is where you go beneath the ball, hit the ground, and then try and come up. And the thin is whenever you get the club actually trying to lift up but not hit the ground, and it hits
Middle of the ball and
the middle of the
shoots
ball.
it.
So it shoots it. So hitting down on the ball does one of two things. Number one, you're gonna hit the face a lot more often,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's number one thing it'll do. Even if you catch it thin, though, even if you catch it thin, what's gonna happen is it's gonna hit the front of the face on the low side. It's gonna hit on the front face next to the leading edge, but on top of the leading edge, so you get at least a little bit of nip, a
Yeah.
little bit of spin. So even on your bad shots, they aren't gonna end up nearly as bad
As when
as
you.
trying
Yeah.
as trying to like help it into the air.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what I try and tell people a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Using the sole of the club helps, like if you want to teach them about bounce and grain and
Yeah.
all that, that helps. But it mainly just trying to teach them, okay, we're trying to hit down.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, and this is something where I didn't see her do this,
Mm-hmm.
is standing close to the ball so that the toe is down and the heel is up,
Mm-hmm.
so that it slides easier, right? Because
Yeah.
if I'm setting up with the heel on the ground, chances are that ball's not going to slide as easy. So,
Yeah.
and I didn't see her do that very much.
So where I
anyway,
was
go on
going,
with what you're
where
saying.
I was going with it is the number one objective of any short game approach shot is put the
Okay.
ball on the green. If you're
Okay.
not on the green, most of the time you don't have a chance. So get it on the green, you got a chance. Okay, that's number one. Number two is put the
all
ball
the
close.
time you don't have a chance if you're not on the green.
Huh?
I would say all the time you don't have a chance if you're not on the green, right?
Well, I mean, like people chip in and stuff, but it's not likely.
oh, you mean on the second shot?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I understand.
So number one objective is put the ball on the green. Okay, and that the reason I say it that way is obviously the worst shot of the day or worst shot of the tournament we both agree on was Lexi Thompson's attempted like shot out of that rough.
Yeah, it's bad.
It was bad. It was bad shot, really bad shot.
Bad shot.
But is because she was trying to do something that I think was more complicated than necessary.
Do you really think so?
So what it looked like to me is she was trying to get really, really steep on the ball with a wide open club face.
Okay.
Which is why what happened. She hosel shanked it. She's getting really steep with a wide open club face and just shot off right. When sometimes you gotta bite the bullet. This ball ain't going in the hole.
I don't think that's not what I see though.
It's
Like,
not?
that's not what I see. I see her trying to hit a typical shot, but her lining up way too close to the ball, and then almost like she was trying too hard to go down to the ball. And obviously if you go down to the ball the way she did, your arms are going further away from you, so then you're going to hit the hosel. Right? I mean, that on that shot in particular. The other shot, it's because she's trying to help the ball into the air, kind of like you showed me. Like you were showing me the other one, you know? This one right here that I'm looking at. Ah, that's a lie. This video isn't available in your location. You just don't want to see.
Sky News? That Sky News video?
Yeah, bull crap. You just don't want me to see her
why
shank
can't
the ball.
I find this video?
There was that one.
I watched it
can't-
like 8 times the other day.
because Sky News doesn't want you to make fun of a girl.
I don't think that's why.
I wouldn't be surprised, pal. I would not be surprised. Let's go to videos. Lexi Shank. Here it is. Yeah, I mean, to me, that just looks like she tries going down at it.
I
just
can't even
suddenly.
find it.
You want me to send it to you real quick?
Yeah, can you send it to me? Because I can't
I
even
can.
locate it.
Yes, yeah. Right here. All right. Just send it to your Zach Golf one.
Oh, you sent it to that one?
Yeah.
That's such a dead account now.
Such a dead account. What do you
I
mean?
don't use it anymore, hardly. Okay. Here we go.
But anyway, so I see her hitting like almost like she's trying to like go down to it. And here's the thing again we need to know about this. So this is a good thing you're actually bringing up. Is if you go down to the ball, if your arms go further away, you have a higher likelihood of hitting the hosel because now you're pushing the club further out from you. So that club is now not going to hit in the spot where you're intending. Now it's going to hit on the more toward the hosel of the club or heel of the club. Let me see if I can look it up on YouTube. Is that where you're trying to find it, or are you trying to find it on X?
I'm trying to find it on X. So looking at it, it's not as open of a club face as I originally thought.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It looks like she's just trying to pop down on it, but she moves her body.
But again, that's a very big swing for a short shot. I mean, it's just...
She's trying to just pop it, right? She's trying to just...
I understand what she's trying to do, but also, and this is true for me and Zane as well, sometimes as golfers, you gotta know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my weakness right now, probably off the tee.
Sure, I'm 100%. Sorry, real quick. I'm 100% sure they took it off because she's a girl. Because they don't want people making fun of her. I can't find it. I can't even find it on YouTube. And the one that I found on YouTube is just this guy reviewing it, Mr. Short Game Golf Podcast.
Yeah.
And it's a very grainy video.
Anyway, regardless.
Okay.
You got to know your limits. My weakness right now in my game is accuracy off the tee. It's not horrible, but it's not where it needs to be. Like, you got to put yourself in scoring positions off the tee, otherwise you're not going to score.
Uh-huh.
So, if I come up to a drivable par 4 that's tight, maybe just hit a 7-iron or a 4-iron off a tee instead of trying to go and get as close to the green as I can, because it's not going to benefit me. If my weakness was chipping or short game, which for Lexi Thompson it has been short game for several years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been a great driver of the ball, especially on the women's tour, and she has been an exceptional ball striker for most of her career as well. She's always struggled with putting and she struggled with chipping. If your weakness is chipping, sometimes playing the simple shot is better than playing the best shot, especially when nerves are high, which obviously Solheim Cup nerves are going to be up.
But I don't think it was that bad of I don't think it was the wrong shot choice.
I think for her it was.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. It was not a difficult shot. I think she just has the yips, the Y word. I think she has the Y word.
Maybe she does.
She
looks
like she pushes out. And if you push out even a little bit with the golf club, Zach, you're going to hit the hosel.
But we saw, like, the same kind of miscue trying to play these, like, really steep attack angle shots in positions where it wasn't super necessary. Like, the other miscue, she chunked it going back up the hill.
But that was because it looks like she's trying to help it up.
She helped it up. I agree.
Okay.
But maybe then don't attempt that shot.
I don't think that's not steep attack angle, though. That's not what's causing that.
She took it straight up to try and get its steep attack angle, just because her right leg goes to a 90-degree angle on the downswing.
But that's from her lifting. So at the moment she hits the ball, she doesn't have that negative attack angle.
I know this. I'm saying based on what her backswing is on those swings.
I don't know if you
Her intention is to get steep with it.
On that shot in particular, I don't know if you can draw that conclusion from a down the line view.
Okay. Agree to disagree then. Agree to disagree.
Okay. All right. I just don't know if you can see that from a down the line view.
And even if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. I'm just not right yet.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it time.
Exactly. Give it time. Give it time.
Alrighty.
So, yeah.
I think we can capstone the Solheim Cup with 4 simple words. I told you so.
Yeah. Or the girls done choked. You know what I mean? That's 4 words.
Or 3 words even. Or just get ready. I'm going to say this a lot in this podcast. Thank me later.
Thank me later.
If you're doing any kind of betting, thank me later.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
she
Ryder
said.
Cup. Since
By
we're
the way,
talking
she
about,
said real quick. She
yeah.
said she told a reporter. She said I don't need to comment on that in the presser.
Uh, honestly, I wouldn't
I
either.
agree. I agree. You don't need to comment on it.
Yeah,
It's just fine. Because you said that. Now we're going to laugh and joke. I'm
yeah.
just saying. Anyway,
So I think now, since we're talking about international versus USA team match play golf competitions, we got to talk about the Ryder Cup and some interesting news from Mr. Bryson DeChambeau, or I should say, some interesting words from Mr. Bryson DeChambeau. Zane, do you have the quote?
I believe I do.
Alrighty.
Um. All right. Well,
Basically, the
I
gist
just
of it
lost it.
is, while Zane's pulling up the exact quote, basically the gist of it is, I've been one of the best American players for a very long time. I've been
It was
playing
on
pretty
Instagram,
well
right?
this year. I believe I deserved at least a call. You didn't have to
Yeah.
pick me, but I believe I deserved a call.
Yeah. Here it is.
Zach
So.
Johnson had a response to it as well,
Yeah. So.
but
Real quick. So he said it would have nice to at least got a call. So here's him talking real quick. I'll just hold this up to the thing.
On that Ryder Cup team, and you're playing some of your best golf, right? Or how are you playing better than Wingfoot? Like,
Yeah, definitely. I am playing better than Wingfoot. If you look at it, it would have been nice to at least just have a call. There's numerous people that I think Zach should have called out here, and we didn't get that. And I understand, I get it, but we're nothing different. We're still competing. We're still working super hard to be the best we possibly can be. Brooks is obviously going to kill it for Team USA next week, and excited for the team. But yeah, I mean, it definitely does sting a little bit. But you say what you want. We're still golfers, and I personally think that given the way I played this week, I could have definitely racked up some points for Team USA. But
and given how well you're playing,
So Zach, what? Oh, I mean, what do you
so
think?
real quick, Zach
quick.
Johnson was asked to about not picking Bryson, and that was this morning. Actually, this quote comes
Okay.
from this morning.
Do you mind reading it?
We kept a tally of, and then he restarts the sentence. We have a point system within the PGA of America, within the Ryder Cup USA. It's pretty evident that of how you garner points and which tournaments can accumulate points.
Say that again.
We kept a tally of. We have a point. I'm going to say this like sections. We kept a tally of. We have a point system within the PGA of America, within the Ryder Cup USA. It's pretty evident that of how you garner points and which tournaments can accumulate points. So basically, unless you win a major on the Live Tour, you're not making the team. That's what that
All right.
means. That's what that means. If you don't win a major and you play for Live, you ain't making the Ryder Cup team. I love the change in the standards, right? JT can miss 48 cuts in a year and play awful golf and make Team USA, but unless you win a major, if you're not playing on the PGA Tour, you're not allowed. You're not making Team USA. So that's cool.
I mean, that really, and again, I'm not advocating anybody do this, but that really makes me want to key Zach Johnson's car. I'm not even
There may be people calling for it, depending on how bad Team USA gets beat.
I'm not advocating for any actual personal private property damage or physical damage to a human being. However, it makes me want to. You know what I mean?
Skirting the edge here, Zane.
I know. I'm walking a line right now.
It's a very thin line.
But I will say that you're exactly right. This is 100% a double standard. This is horrible. I mean, you already let on Jordan Spieth and JT on the team, which you can argue definitely don't deserve to be on the team.
As much as even some other PGA Tour guys.
So yeah, especially.
Yeah.
Even other PGA Tour guys. We even talked about them, right, deserve to be on that team before those 2 people, right? I mean, that's just evident. That's
Yeah.
so evident.
Yeah.
And if we had people on the live, if we had the people that were playing well, like DeChambeau on the team,
Yeah.
like you just put DeChambeau, Brooks, and like I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You put Keegan and Lucas Glover on there. They were winning that. They were winning. There's no way they don't.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't.
And also it's very, and when you're talking about Bryson's statement on it, he's not just advocating this for himself. He says that there's several guys
Yeah.
that should have probably gotten a call and didn't.
Yeah.
Especially for what they've done in the Ryder Cup and all this stuff. And I saw people underneath that, that was a tweet by Nuclear Golf. I was getting that quote from. By the way, love Nuclear Golf. Follow him on Twitter. Or X, sorry. But there were people under it that were like, here's one. BK earned his way. Just because Bryson won some live events doesn't mean he should get an invite. He missed the cut at one major, finished 60th at another. If he finished top 20 in all 4, he gets an invite. That's on him. Should play more PGA events next year.
He wasn't able to.
Well,
Is that what these people don't understand?
Well, and someone
You're literally
commented
banned from
underneath
those
it,
events.
and JT should.
Yeah.
You're gonna
like
argue that JT played better golf than Bryson this year? That's
The
ridiculous.
answer's no. You could argue that none of those 6 captains picks, besides mainly Brooks Koepka, played better than him.
Yeah,
Have
you could
they?
absolutely argue
None
that.
of them shot 58.
Yeah,
You know, none of them are captain 58 over here, besides frickin' Bryson in the rain. I mind you.
yeah.
So like,
And then he won another tournament this past weekend.
yeah.
So like, I don't care. Listen, honestly, I
just want a fair
don't
playing
care at what level of competition you're playing at. To a certain extent, when you're playing international golf against very, very good players, and there are very, very good players on the Live Tour. I know people try and knock it like, oh, who on the Live Tour is even like good except for Bryson and DJ and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, you realize that like 10 or 15 top 100 golfers were in the initial burst to Live.
Not just that, Abraham Answer. You had a lot of people that were hot
Yeah.
that went to Live. Mito Pereira.
Yeah.
Like you had a lot of people that were hot that went to Live. It's not a secret. All those people are buying into the PGA propaganda that only old coots who don't have it's like the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
That's like the worst propaganda that I've seen. The people that say that are idiots. Like
Yeah.
they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it as good as it could be? No, but that's because they're not allowed. That's because they actively discourage players from joining that league
Because they're anti-competitive.
on the threat of not being able to play in Ryder Cups and President's Cups and PGA Tour events
And, Zane, majors.
and majors.
Because, hey, I don't care if you win every Live Golf event. If you shoot 58 every weekend at Live Golf, you're not getting any official World Golf ranking points, and you're not invited to the Masters. You're not invited to the U.S. Open. You're going to have to qualify for that. You're going to have to qualify for the British Open. You're going to have to, try and make your way into the PGA Championship. You're not invited to any of those, no matter how many Live tournaments you won. If one guy won every Live Golf event, shot 58 for every single round, he wouldn't get an invite.
Well, you know who really needs that money, the Live money, is the people that haven't won majors yet.
Yeah.
But the only reason that the people that went is because they already have majors under their belt and already have exemptions into those said majors.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so
it's like,
because
the quality of competition on the PGA Tour is so much better. Okay, You want to? Who's number 70 on the PGA Tour?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. But I can tell you that number 70 on the PGA Tour is better than Justin Thomas this year. I can tell you that for a goddamn fact.
Yeah, it's sad.
So, I mean, hey, you know what? Honestly, after the deal that the PGA made with the PIF, I still don't get. It makes even less sense to people that hate Live, or the players that went to Live.
Smalley is his name, by the way.
Smalley?
Smalley, he's number 70.
Is he American?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Shame he didn't get a call. I bet, you know what, Zane? I bet he wasn't even thinking that number 70 would get in.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. So, like, I mean, that's just how I think of it. Is like, I just don't get how you have this standard where, again, I just will not. I will never forgive whether they win or not. I don't care. I mean, I really don't. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't care if Team USA trounces Team Europe.
Yeah.
I want to live in a world where you earn what you get.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing behind Rory saying play better, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The whole point behind what he was saying was play better and you get rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? You had a lot of people that played better. They didn't get rewarded.
Yeah.
And I want to live in a world where you do get rewarded for playing good. Whether that be getting invited to live and getting paid millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Or whether that be getting OWGR ranking points for whatever tournament you play in around the world.
Yeah.
I want it to be that way. And however we can get it to where it's there, like I don't give a rat's behind.
So another thing
about
is
sport. Can I say something real quick? I don't give a rat's behind about sports washing or culture. It's a freaking sport.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap about the sports are supposed to transcend politics.
Yep.
Aren't they? Aren't they?
They're supposed to.
Isn't that the whole point of Invictus? Did anybody ever watch that movie? The rugby team in South Africa? The whole point is that it transcends politics. And we're sitting over here worried about what the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is doing. That was kind of racist, me bobbing my head like that. But anyway,
I
go
didn't
ahead,
think
Zach.
so until you pointed it out, but
No, now you do.
yeah. So
anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, so it's a tough argument in my opinion to make that like, oh, Live Golf Field is just so weak. It's just so weak. Blah blah blah. It's just so weak. It's a tough argument to make when you can get these points playing on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, it's a tough argument to make. I'm telling you.
Just saying. The quality of competition on the Live Golf Tour is higher than on the DP World Tour.
I think so.
And that's not to take away the guys that play well over there.
No.
Because if you're playing well, you're playing well. And every level of like international professional golf, it's hard to win.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what level you're playing at. If you're playing the DP World Tour, Live Golf, PGA Tour, any of those other international leagues that they have, doesn't matter which one you're playing in. It's incredibly difficult to win.
Yep.
Because the difference between winning and losing could be you 3-putted the first hole on the first day of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly difficult to win. You have to be on all week. So, and I think, and when you just look at, okay, who's winning, okay, when you look at Live Golf, do they have major champions playing consistently every event at Live Golf?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have that on DP World Tour?
No.
No. And it's just one guy, right? It's just one guy on Live Golf that's won a major, right?
No.
Oh, you're saying they have more than one? In fact, it's like 7?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's crazy this whole thing. I can't. It's baffling to me that all this stuff is like all the hate is continuing with the deal with the PIF now in place. Like it's crazy to me. Like I thought that would be the end of it, and people would be like, okay. Well, apparently golf doesn't really care about where the money comes from.
Yeah.
Which it never did, first off. It never did.
No, it never did.
Never
But
did.
hey, so real quick, let's go into because I mean we're going back into things that we've talked about several times.
That's true, yeah. I'm sorry.
Um,
I was on my
so-
soapbox.
That's okay. I was on my soapbox a little too. So let's go into our predictions for this year's Ryder Cup.
Okay.
So what's going to happen at 1 a.m. this morning, Zach? What do you think?
1 a.m. this morning.
What's going to happen? DraftKings,
Yeah.
has USA as the favorite, 120.
They just have to retain, so it is easier
you-
for them.
Yep.
If I had to pick like a final like point total,
FanDuel has Europe as a less of a
less of
of
a,
an advantage.
huh?
What do you think? FanDuel has less of an advantage. What do you
Okay.
think?
I if I had to pick a final total of points, I'm gonna go 15.5 Europe, 13.5 USA. Because
Wow, dude, that's a lot, man.
yeah,
Do you really think so?
15.5 Europe, yeah.
I'm gonna say 14-14 tie.
So
I'm
USA
gonna say we
retains.
retains. I'm gonna say we retain.
I
I'm
think
gonna say
I don't think so.
okay, and that's fine. I
Yeah.
think we will retain the cup. I don't. I obviously would want us to do better. But I don't think. I think we're gonna get lucky. I think it's gonna come down to singles matches, and we're gonna get lucky.
I
I
think
really
we're getting
believe that.
smoked in singles, dude.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like we're
You
gonna be
think we
okay,
have to be way up? You're thinking we have to be way up in the team matches,
and I don't think we will be.
then you really think it must be like 16.
No,
16
so
and a
I
half.
think that US will have a slight advantage going into singles.
You think we'll be up after team?
Mhm.
See, that's hard. We'll see. We'll see. I really believe that we have a better shot at singles matches.
Really?
That's just me. I think so. I think again, I really believe that I think Justin Thomas is not in form. I think he played better in the Fortinet,
Yeah.
but I think in singles matches he shines a lot better than whenever he's having to rely on a partner in the team.
I mean, we'll see. I think it's gonna be 15.5, 13.5. Europe.
Could be.
I think it's gonna be close. I'm worried that it's gonna be like a Miracle at Medina situation.
You're worried it's gonna be like a what?
A Miracle at Medina situation.
Oh God, don't say that.
The Rumble in Rome.
Don't say that, please, Dad.
I
Please,
swear, if I don't get credit for that and that happens, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Dad. Say it again. Say it again for the crowd, Zach.
No, it's got to be better than the Rumble in Rome because that's what it currently is. It is the Rumble in Rome.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'll workshop it. I'll reveal it at the end of the show. Keep watching.
I can imagine. It's funny. All right. So, course conditions. We went over that last week.
Indeed.
But I do think they favor Europe.
Mhm.
Like I said, I think we're gonna win. Luckily, I for some reason I feel it in the air.
Mhm.
I think we are going to win. I mean, the people betting on it are saying it. I think that they're probably right. Of course, I think it's going to be a tie, so I think it's that plus 1900 number or whatever of tying.
Yeah, but they got the over/under on the Dolphins game wrong this past weekend.
They did. Oh, that
Shout
was
out to
insane.
Denver.
Oh my God, Russell Wilson's going to be out of a job. He's going to be homeless in in the Boulder
Everybody
streets.
on the Denver Broncos is gonna be out of the job.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Anyway, check out the Barely
any-
Football podcast.
Yeah, there you go. So, did you predict that, Zach Stradamus? Did you predict that?
I predicted the Dolphins would win. I didn't predict them putting up 70 points because I thought at least, well,
Most since like
these guys are
1965?
professional athletes. You know, they're
Mhm.
not gonna get like melted by 50 points. So,
And they did.
and they did. So
They did.
crazy things happen in sports. That's why we love
So,
them.
yeah, they do. 1965, wasn't it? The last time since they've scored that many points in a football game?
Been a while.
In a long time. So real quick, let's go into the golf industry a little bit. So I brought it to Zach's attention that Troon and Invited have merged somewhat. So Troon, big golf management, big corporate club owning organization. So they own a lot of golf courses. They acquired Invited clubs, which used to be Club Corp, their club management arm. And so what they've done is they've essentially merged the two businesses so that both have access to each other's courses. Zach, I just want to hear what you have to say about that. What do you think?
So I wanna first start off by saying that, like, obviously I work at a course that is owned by a like management group.
Which management group?
Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously just get that out of the way ahead of time. The main problem that I've seen with Club Corp courses, or I've heard about with Club Corp courses, and these big, and by the way, these two businesses are far bigger than Bobby Jones.
Yeah, I mean we're talking
Yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah. The main issue I've heard of is with these type of things is with these types of courses is that it's not a great place for golf professionals to work,
Mm-hmm.
because everything, and I do mean everything, is corporatized, or
Mhm.
like there's so many different corporate hierarchies. Things take forever to make happen. You can't just for instance, I set up and did my own clinic this fall. You can't just like 2 months out set up and plan a clinic. You can't just do that. From my understanding, it's they tell you, okay, we need a clinic at this day and time, and you got to be there and do this. And now, as an experience, from what I've heard from customers of these courses or members at these courses, they like it because everything is very well organized. But in terms of working at a place like that, I've heard some negative things.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I don't think anybody on my work's gonna even listen to this podcast. Maybe they will later, but by then I'll be gone. So let's just talk about this real quick. So you're 100% right. I would say most people that are members at these courses, I would say like them generally. Mainly because less that it's organized, more that they know what they need. They know what they can expect.
Yes.
Right. So
everything
there's not a lot of
is
surprises.
There's very little surprises. Everything is,
Yeah.
you know,
You're never gonna be kind of blindsided by something. But yeah, course conditions can vary between these courses. Some courses are run even in a corporate structure. Some courses are run well. Some courses aren't.
in a
We have
corporate structure, you're going to prioritize the courses that make you the most money.
Correct. So we have 4 courses at our place. The 2 courses kind of fly under the radar. Yopon and Live Oak don't get a whole lot of help. The signature courses, Flint Rock and the Hills, which are both Jack designed, they obviously receive all the money, all the pay because of the higher initiation fees.
Yeah.
higher dues, so different things like that. There is a lot, and I'm gonna, I didn't sign I don't think I signed an NDA or contract or anything. Anyway, so the one thing I will say is that there's the problem with that corporate structure. Things don't get passed up the chain like they should.
Mm.
So things go under the rug.
Yeah.
So like several things that should be OSHA violations don't get brought up to say OSHA or to even head management.
Yeah.
Lead management might not even know about them.
Mhm.
Now you can argue that that's bad management, but here we are,
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you could argue that they should have known, they should have went to check wherever this was or do whatever it is, but it just didn't get done. So it is what it is. But I will say it is difficult trying to, because you're working kind of against the system because, we don't have the same pay structure as a normal golf teacher. I'm a
Mhm.
golf coach. So they call us player development professionals. And what
Mhm.
happens is we get paid 50-50 from our lessons, which is not even close to industry standard.
No.
However, they give us an 18 an hour wage that you can only get a certain amount of hours a week. So that's supposed to cover that, 30% that you don't get in
Yeah, because for those
commission.
listeners who don't know, typical industry standard is 80-20.
Yeah. So that's supposed to take the place. Well, it doesn't. What they do is they have you take up on all these other mundane tasks that don't allow you to coach more, that
Mhm.
don't allow you to fulfill that 50% or whatever.
Mhm.
And again, if somebody at work is listening to me say this, just know I don't mean this with any like disrespect toward the person or anybody else. It's just the way it is. I think it's a poorly run organization on that side of things. I
Well,
think that
yeah.
I think that I think that what happens is they, and again, I'm speaking from one course, so I'm pretty sure there's other courses that don't do this. But it seems like it's almost fly by the seat of our pants mentality, or even that there's just, hey, that's just what we do. Even though there might be a way to streamline the process and
Mhm.
make it easier, they don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it'll, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. So we have to do this report at the end of the day. It's not a hard report to do, but you have to do it at the end of each shift. Well, you have to do several steps that seemingly are the same.
Mhm.
And you're like, why do I have to do steps? Well, it's because that they need us to do those steps. So you don't get told why you do certain things. You just get told you have to do them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you're not
Yeah.
understanding if the thing you're doing is for a specific purpose or just to do it.
Yeah. And for the record, the things that I've heard about Club Corp courses, I didn't get from Zane. They're from other professionals in the industry.
Yeah, there's a ton of Club Corp courses around Zach too.
Yeah.
In that area.
And I know many professionals have been in the industry a very long time and have worked for these places, and this is what they tell me. So, like, when I was looking for a new job, when I was in the process of leaving Chicopee, they were like, be very careful with Club Corp. Just because there's a stigma around them among golf professionals that they just don't treat golf professionals very well. They don't incentivize you to grow and develop as a professional. So everyone that I talk to about this saying just be very careful about Club Corp courses or working in that kind of structure. So
yeah. And I don't know if Troon's any better. Like, I really don't. But I can just tell you from my perspective is it's been kind of hard getting lessons, not just because of the heat, because that's played a role, but it's been hard to get a ton of lessons because I had a ton of lessons at golf club.
yeah.
I mean, I told Zach what I made. I made a ton of money there at golf club, and then moved out here and thought, okay, you know what, it's going to be a build. Started off fine, but I slowly found out that it's like there's a pretty big ceiling here, and not a pretty big ceiling, a
Pretty
pretty
low ceiling.
low ceiling here. And the reason is because I think a lot of people are either upset with the course, don't want to spend money at the course, or because the dues have been raised so many times, and because the initiation fee has been raised so many times, that people just aren't spending money at the club.
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't want to spend money at the club, then they don't want to spend money on me,
Yeah.
right? Because they know that whatever I get, the club's going to get a portion of it. They don't know what portion, but they know the club's going to get a portion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to go behind the club's back and take money.
Yeah.
That's not me. I didn't
Yeah.
do that at
And
golf club. I'm not going to do that here.
Yeah, and that's It's also it would be technically theft, but
No, it would be theft.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do it. I know there's some pros that have done it in the past at other courses.
mm-hmm.
I don't do it because you want that working relationship with your employer,
Yeah,
and you want that solid foundation.
absolutely.
But it just seems like, and again, they make me work some pro shop shifts, which I don't mind. That's the least of my problems. But
Yeah.
the issue is I think, and I heard this from the from management, because they were like, well, we have 900 members, and we have 4 of you guys, and with that, we think if we split up the membership, into 4, that's about 200 each person. And so out of those 200, you should definitely be making such and such. Zach,
Yeah.
how many people actually take golf lessons?
Out of like,
If
so,
you were to sample
so I'm at a
100
private.
golfers,
I'm at a private course now,
yeah,
and I will tell you that we have arguably way too much of a membership for, the course that we have. And for the budget
You do.
we have, we have
You
way
have
too
a
many
lot of
members for the
members.
course we have, and for the budget we have for course maintenance.
yeah,
But basically three people give lessons. It's myself, another assistant, and then the head pro. The
Yeah.
head pro doesn't give that many lessons because he doesn't want to, and frankly, he's a head pro, doesn't really need to either.
mm-hmm.
The other assistant, I would say he gives about 3 a week, maybe.
yeah,
And then I am right now going on 3 a week as well,
okay,
and only one of those is a member. Because I'm
And so
allowed to
that's-
give lessons to
Yes.
people that aren't members.
we
But-
are too.
But when the question is how many members actually take lessons, some of them will take lessons. I've given lessons to about 5 or 6 members at this point, but they take a lesson and then you don't hear from them for 3 months
Yes,
because they wanted a lesson on one specific thing.
Yeah.
They aren't looking for continuous coaching.
mm-hmm.
Especially when you're talking about a private club where a majority of your members are going to be either retired, middle-aged, and working, or old enough that they just want to go out and play with their friends.
Yep.
And they don't really care about playing all that well.
Yep.
So it's different. So like at Chicopee, I was doing like 2 or 3 lessons a day. And that's because it's a public course. A lot of people go through there.
Yeah.
And the people that go to
factory.
public courses typically are people that are currently working, and have some expendable income because they're at a golf course.
Mm-hmm. They want to get better because
They want to get better because they wouldn't be practicing at a driving range, which is where I did all of my outreach was at the driving range, basically going out to people and talking to them. They wouldn't be at the driving range if they didn't want to get better.
Yep.
They have some expendable income because they're at the golf course. Mm-hmm. It's not a ton of expendable income because they're at a public course and not members at a private course.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when you're coaching at a public course, you can keep your prices relatively low, do a lot of volume, and that's how you make your money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a very different. It's very different the clientele as a coach you get at a private course versus a public course. Now, when you were at like a golf club, golf club has college kids out there. It's got young families out there who want to get their kids into golf.
Yeah, tons of young families.
Yeah. And it's a very, very, very wealthy area.
Yeah.
Very
And not only
wealthy area of
that,
Atlanta.
not only that, you have a separate academy arm, which is and this is the problem where I'm at currently. And I've talked with the people about this, and I hope they change their ways and listen to me. But
Hmm.
you want to market outside of the club.
Yeah.
You're not going to get those 200 people. I'm sorry, it's just not feasible.
You might get 5
Yes, or 10.
or 10.
I think at this point I've probably gotten about 10 or 15 members.
Yeah.
Some of them signing up pretty regularly, some of them not even close.
But you want to market outside the club. I understand exactly what you're
You
saying.
want to market outside the club, and even Club Corp to their
Credit.
to their credit, they even say in their material that they want to be the place, the hub that people go, even if they're not members, to go learn how to play golf and to learn how to play junior golf in
Yeah,
particular.
and grow the game. Yeah.
Only way you do that's through marketing.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
Which is why almost every
You have to outreach outside the club.
which is why almost every private course nowadays does have some kind of academy or coaching.
A lot of them do over there for sure.
Yeah.
Atlanta Athletic Club has it.
Yeah.
I
I mean, Chicopee had the academy there.
Mhm.
Although, no, I won't even get into it.
No, we won't go there.
But we don't have one at the Georgia Club. But I mean, I don't think we need one.
Mhm.
I mean, that's not what we are. I mean, we're doing pretty successful with clinics, especially junior clinics, or at least mine was pretty successful.
But you're doing all right because you're also operational.
Yeah,
Like you're doing a ton of side on the operation, and you're doing lessons to fill in the gap.
yeah,
Whereas mine's the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm doing bare minimum operation, maybe 4 shifts in the pro shop every month,
hmm
and the rest of it is out on the range tee teaching lessons.
hmm
But the issue is like there's just not. It just seems like the management doesn't understand that no matter what you do, you can't get around the question of we have to market outside the club. You can't just these members.
hmm
No matter how many emails you send,
Some
are
of them
not
just
going
aren't going to take lessons,
100%.
and that's why as a golf professional, it's our job to market ourselves. But you also expect on the part of your employer some help in doing so.
Well, if here's the deal. If I'm giving 50% of my lesson income,
So that's a big difference.
I expect there to be some trade-off there.
Yeah,
I expect there to be some now they might argue that the trade-off is the 18 an hour. I would argue with a full lesson book that's not even close.
yeah,
I would argue the 50% should also pay for a little bit of that marketing outside the club to help me get more students.
yeah,
And that gives them more money.
yeah.
Funny how that works, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny how that works. You get me more students, I make you more money.
hmm
But again, I just don't think the people at the top see that. I don't think the people at the top recognize that. It's like, and I've urged them several times because I do reach out to high schools and colleges.
Yeah,
But to little avail because we don't have very many resources at our disposal. We have a pretty good practice facility, but we have no covering, so in the heat you're totally screwed.
yeah,
We don't have any kind of bathroom on the back of the range in the private area.
hmm
We don't have a lot of amenities, a lot of accommodations that some of these other courses have, and that's why a lot of these players go to those courses,
Yeah.
and they go and get the instruction.
And
from
honestly, because of they're not marketing it, some of the members are probably going to those other courses too.
100%. 100%.
Because if they have a shaded area or like a bay to hit out of where they can get lessons, they would much rather do that than stand out in the Texas heat and pound balls.
Yep. What made me really kind of, I would say, a little bit upset is I actually drove by Falcon Head Golf Course for the first time ever this past week. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I drove by there, and I looked over to my right to see the driving range. It's a shaded tee.
hmm
That's a public golf course.
Yeah.
And it just kind of blew my mind. It's like, dude, like, what the heck? So like they can
Yeah.
have a covered range tee, but we don't have a covered range tee. We're a private course with all these things, and we can't even get something for our members to hit underneath some shade.
Yeah.
And we're in Austin, Texas. It was
Yeah.
100. What was the stat? It was like 76 days straight with
100
the
plus.
high over 100. Yeah.
Is it a
And
dry
how do you-
heat though?
I don't get. Yes, which is why a shade helps a lot more than a humidity.
Yeah.
In the humidity, it's hard to escape that heat, even if you're out of the sun.
Yep.
If you got a shadow, dude, that temperature drops by like 8-9 degrees.
Yeah.
So then you're talking people can actually use your range. I can walk the range. I can get more lessons. I can talk to more people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's twofold. Like we need obviously, and this is the thing about Club Corp. I just think that some of their upgrades are missed. I think some of their the way they allocate some of their funds just kind of leaves me kind of get like my mouth gaped wide open because I just don't understand why the money went to what it went to.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
anyway. That's just me. Again, the golf club of Georgia, the place I was at, you can at least say again to that owner's credit, he was extremely good at spending money on certain things that we needed.
Yeah.
Now there's some other places you could argue, but that's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some places you could argue he could have spent money on, but he spent money on places where it definitely needed it.
Yeah.
You know, and so anyway,
100%.
so if you're listening to this, Mr. Kenny, props to you. Anyway,
So, anyway, I believe that's all we have time for in this episode of the Barely Out of Bounds podcast. Zane, do you want to shout yourself out?
yeah. So I just dropped a new video. Add CS Golf on YouTube. Check it out. It's the sand shots. I do thin one way across the green, but just don't pay attention to that one. But even great people of greatness like me thin one across the green every now and then. But what I did was I was showing them how to hit it, not how I normally do, which is more explosion. I was telling them how, like, if you catch it closer to the ball, more spin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're somebody who catches it closer to the ball, then you're gonna have more spin. I showed them. First shot I hit like that. I sent
Scalded
the
it?
thing flying. Yeah, I sent it flying. It went pretty far over. Second one shot that hit perfect though and spun real back. Nice, pretty. So
Nice.
check it out. Anyway, Zach.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on X, you can see me talking about the Ryder Cup there and I wrote it down. Give me a second.
I'm ready for it.
And the Rebuke in Rome. Or the Roman Rebuke. One of the two. If you want to catch that, you can follow me on X at BeerlyZach. I also talk a lot about football and other sports. So if you want to know what happens before it does, follow Zach Shadon at BeerlyZach. X.
Peace.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening.